see a young lady who's all together and happy, and there's no conflict and all that sort of stuff. It doesn't fit in with you. It doesn't work because it's like you're on different levels.
Exactly.
Well, she's up here and you're still vibrating around down here. And I know that for a fact because I remarried, and I married a beautiful lady who's kind and gentle, no conflict, comes from a wonderful family, supportive, caring. And it was difficult for me to get used to that. It was like I come from this craziness where there's always fighting and there's always arguing and there's always conflict and there's always problems, to this environment where like my wife was like, what are you upset about? Just calm down. Let's just talk about it. Hey, what are you doing? We're fine. It's very, so initially it was hard for me to get used to that peace, And now that's not good for anything in the world,
So you had to work with your psychology, or did you go to therapy or something?
Man, when I started healing, I tried. When it was 2010, we didn't talk about men that were victims of sexual abuse or gender-based violence or anything like that, right? I mean, my ex used to beat me. She would literally slap me in the face or kick me in the balls, or when we're having a fight, and she felt empowered and able to be able to do that. And it was like, fortunately, I never retaliated because I would have probably ended up.
It's a woman, it's a woman,
But the healing process was not easy, right? And I had to do it myself because nobody spoke about this. Back in those days, nobody spoke about male survivors at all.
But I want to understand, where were you spiritually?
Spiritually, as in faith, belief.
Yeah, faith, belief. Did you believe in something at least?
No, I was like a full-on atheist at the time.
Oh.
So I became a Christian in 1991.
Okay.
So now we're talking 2010. So I spent sort of 5 years serving a church. I didn't serve Jesus at all. You know what I mean? It was just, I served the church, and that's what I thought faith was about.
As a distraction.
Yeah.
Yeah, sort of. Yeah.
And when I got into a difficult time after having served this church faithfully for 5 years, they complained about helping me. I was like, seriously? Anyway, we won't mention the name of the church.
Yeah.
But so I became a full-on atheist, and I used to turn Christians around. Really, I would. I would meet them and I would blaspheme in front of them, and I would carry on, and then they would say nothing. It was funny. And then I say one bad thing about their pastor, and they're all of a sudden, and then I'd burst out laughing and go, "Yeah, I am blaspheming." And I say one bad thing about your pastor, now you get
and they
cross.
pick you up.
Who do you serve? Who do you serve? So, but yeah, in the process, 2010, I started working on me. By 2012, I realized there was something missing. Big piece of my life was missing. And I started going back to church. Unfortunately, God led me to a really good church. And we studied there. We went through the Bible line by line. It was, there was no messing around there. I used to go to the pastor every Sunday and say, "You stop picking on me, please. Find somebody else to talk about on Sundays. Like, you keep bringing up all my bad
my
points."
goodness.
But that's good. We're convicted because conviction brings about change.
Yeah, exactly, does. Yeah.
So, but I mean, I've been through a journey since 2012. I've been really saved now. You know what I mean?
So would you say now you're a child of God, like literally?
Absolutely, yes. Yeah. Conservative child of God.
Oh, wow.
The word is the word. That's,
I'm also seeing your book here. Can you tell us more about your book, The Pamkin Band? What is it all about? Tell us more about it.
The book is my story, essentially, from when I was a young man, my suicide attempts and therapy and all those things that I went through. But it also includes the life stories of 6 other men.
Okay.
Right? So the one guy's a triple murderer, is in jail, and then I talk about what happened and how it started, his life. Another guy was a pedophile who committed suicide a couple of years ago. So talk about his life and how things evolved in his life. There's then the other men are just average guys, that kind of go through life working day to day, trying to be good fathers, that sort of stuff. But they have this deep, dark secret that kind of infests their life. And then I talk about the different practices that we go through to heal, and that healing is possible. And, so it's a book where it's a very raw, honest book. I get a lot of people calling me going, "Wow, I see my partner in that, and then I always smile because I know if their partner's like that, then there's a history in their lives as well. So it's a very healing, empowering book. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's also teaching, especially about the fact that sometimes it's the background that can make people to behave a certain way.
Well, yes.
But then with you, there's a different story because you just had to heal yourself somehow and get to understand why things shouldn't be the way they are or certain way they are, and they should be at least a certain way.
Yes.
So I believe that you actually came through and say, but as I'm listening to you, it's like you were like God, because you came back to God after all that, like, moving and shifting away because of, all the things that happened.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you said, let me go back to this God. And then it was now all about God.
Yeah.
And again, it's about you wanting to sharpen other people and all that, change their lives and all that and help them to heal.
No, absolutely.
So I just want to say with all of this, I think you're doing well because you now have an understanding that certain things are because of the background and where people are coming from can actually damage them. And again, you also are concerned about the fact that men are not spoken about.
Absolutely.
So you are coming forward to say, what about men? We're going everywhere and we're seeing all these boards. They are always about, gender-based violence is always about. They say gender-based violence, but then they're saying women all the time, and children, but not actually explaining that even men go through a lot of this.
Yeah.
So I like the fact that you actually are like kind of changing and turning the narrative to be a bit different. But it's going to help a lot of people because people are hiding out there. They're not saying all these things and they're hiding, especially men. They normally don't talk about it. But I like the fact that you are coming through and your book. Yes, I want people to go buy this, more about it. It's The Pamkin Ban. The Pamkin Ban is the book, and we'll still talk about it to people and promote it a bit for people to get to hear your story. And thank you so much. I'm all about the sales and all that, but more is here. Thank you so much, Martin. Thank you so much. It was very great to have you here. And I like the fact that we just made it short as well. Thank you so much, sir. It was very great to have you here. My name is Bongi Gladness, and I just want to cut it right here. Thank you. Thank you so much.